Hello, and thank you for clicking on this video. And today, as the title suggests, I will be talking about caffeine. Not only what it is, but also how it is synthesized, both chemically and naturally, how it works, its effects over the body in the short term, and its effects over the body in the long term, and is it healthy? Let's dive right in, but before we dive right in, can I just say, if you do find this type of biological content interesting, then please feel free to like and subscribe, as caffeine is a video that I wanted to do for quite a while. I'm quite interested in it, and hopefully you are too, which is why I clicked on this video. So like, subscribe, check out all the videos on my channel after you finished with this one. So let's dive right in. So caffeine has a formula of C8H10N4O2, so it's got carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen. That doesn't really matter, I mean it does, but more is important about the structure. So this is the structure that you've got right here. And the structure is important, as we'll get onto later, as it is similar to something called adenosine, which we will talk about in a bit. So, caffeine is a xanthine alkaloid class. It's part of that class, and this is how it is synthesized. So it's synthesized two ways, naturally and chemically. There are many ways that it's synthesized chemically. I've decided to focus on one in particular to get all of the detail. And naturally, there we go. So it is found in coffee beans, tea leaves, and cacao beans. Obviously, it's found in a lot of other stuff as well, but that's mainly the things that you've probably heard of. And this is how it's synthesized in those things. So it starts with xanthosine, which is a purine nucleoside from nucleic acid metabolism, and then via the enzyme of xanthine methyltransferase, it's methylated, you'll hear that word quite a lot here, into 7-methylxanthocene. There we go. And then via methylxanthocene nucleotidase, that is converted into 7-methylxanthine, and then via methylation is converted to theobromine, which we will talk about more in a bit. So, via caffeine synthase, which further methylates the theobromine, it is converted to caffeine, also known as 1,3,7-trithylxanthine. There we go. That is a mouthful, as are most of the chemicals that you hear here. So, now, synthesis chemically. So it's not always synthesized naturally, sometimes it is synthesized chemically. So when it's synthesized naturally in these coffee beans, it's extracted using solvents and all that kind of stuff, and it's put into your drinks or whatever you drink your caffeine in, but sometimes it is synthesized chemically. So you've got theobromine, which we were talking about here, it's found in these cacao beans, and then via methyl iodide or dimethyl sulfate, it is methylated into 1,3,7-trimethylxanthine, also known as caffeine, the same as the product of the natural process. It can also be formed by uric acid and urea through a bunch of complex chemical reactions, but I haven't got all day to talk about that. If you do want me to make a video on that, then please leave a comment in the description down below, because I would be happy to. So, how does it work? I hear you ask. Well, I'm glad you asked that, because that is the next topic. So, it works simply, in simple terms, by blocking adenosine receptors in your brain. This is all happening in your brain. And the adenosine receptors, what happens is this thing called adenosine, it binds to these receptors, and it basically tells your brain to tell your body it's time to be sleepy, it's time to fall asleep, it's time to relax. So if you've ever sat watching the TV, or you've sat on your phone, or you're sat in class, and then all of a sudden you go "Ugh," and you're like, "Boah," and you can't actually control the fact that you're falling asleep, that is because of this pesky little chemical called adenosine, which caffeine seeks to replace. So when you have caffeine, you're no longer falling asleep at random times without your control, because it will bind to these receptors, and stop the adenosine from acting on these receptors, and therefore making you more alert, awake, and less likely to fall asleep. Now, you'd probably think that that's a good thing, and yes, it is. I used to think that this was a good thing. I used to drink, I'd say roughly one Monster a day every morning. I'd say Monsters. Whoa, this is testing my knowledge a little bit here. I'd say Monsters contain 160 micrograms of caffeine. It's got to be something similar to that. I will amend that if it's right, and if it's nothing happens on the screen right now, then that means that no, I got it right. So yeah, basically I used to drink a lot of caffeine every day, and I thought that it was good. I mean, perhaps it is, but perhaps it isn't, as we will move on to in a second, because in the short term, it can increase your attention span, increase your alertness, it can stop you from sleeping, and yeah, it just makes you overall more active and more ready to be alert and like not fall asleep, all that kind of stuff. But in the long term, it can because it increases your heart, your blood pressure, your heart rate, and all that kind of stuff. In the short term, over the long term, it can lead to like high blood pressure and stuff like that, and which can lead to like heart attacks and strokes and some pretty nasty stuff. And as well as this, it can lead to it can lead to bad sleep because you've got these caffeine, and then when your adenosine actually does want to attach to your adenosine receptors in your brain, it won't be able to anymore because the caffeine is there. So actually, when you do want to have a good night's sleep, you won't be able to, and it's therefore a bit of a repeating cycle because you drink the caffeine in the morning to wake yourself up, and then you can't get to bed at night time, so you have a very poor night's sleep. And then you wake up again the next day thinking, okay, I'm really tired, trying to drink some more caffeine. And then it's a never ending cycle until you finally stop drinking it, which is what I did quite a few months ago, about the same time that I gave up sugar. And then I kind of was like, yeah, I started doing all this research and kind of stuff. And then I was like, yeah, maybe not. So yeah, I have actually seen some people putting butter in their coffees, which I do think, I've not researched it, but I do kind of agree with the hypothesis, which is where you put the butter in, the caffeine goes into the butter, and then instead of having just one big hit of caffeine all at once, the butter makes it so that it's like, it's released slowly into your body, so that it doesn't just hit your brain at once. It's like slowly released into your brain, so that you're not just like bang alert, you're kind of like more ready and alert throughout the day. I've yet to try that. I might try that and I'll report back. Let me know if you want me to make a video on how butter affects the uptake of caffeine into your brain. That'll be a fun little experiment. So yeah, without further ado, I would like to say thank you very much for watching this video. This has been very fun to make. I was wanting to make this video for quite a while, so it's been very fun to finally do that. Please make sure to check out my channel if you found this video interesting. This video has been about, I think it will end up being about 10 minutes long, so if you have made it to the end of a 10-minute long video, please do like and subscribe, because you probably like the video enough to watch it all the way to the end, or at least you find it interesting. And if you found this one interesting, then you'll probably find a lot of these videos interesting, so go on my channel, check out all the other videos, and check out all the videos that I will make in the future. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.